In 1984, a small team of engineers at Sun Microsystems were forbidden from saying a single word out loud. Not a curse, not a secret formula, just the name of the chip they were building, spelled backwards. They had a 3-time speed advantage over every processor on the market, a chief executive officer betting the entire company on them, and a rival listening for any leak. Within a few years, that chip would carry Sun past $1 billion in revenue, and within 30, it would vanish so quietly that almost no one noticed it was gone. The word they couldn't say was crap, because SPARC, the scalable processor architecture spelled backwards, was exactly that. The marketing team was terrified the joke would leak to their arch rival, MIPS Technologies, who were chasing the same radical idea. That idea was born not in a corporate lab, but at the University of California, Berkeley. A group led by David Patterson argued that everyone was building processors wrong. The industry kept making instructions more complex, hoping to do more in each cycle. Patterson's team said the opposite: strip the instruction set down to the bare essentials, run those simple instructions blindingly fast, and you would win. They called it reduced instruction set computing, or RISC. Berkeley's RISC-V designs also introduced something elegant called the register window. Every time a program calls a function, it normally has to save its data out to memory and load it back. The register window let those data sets overlap, so the trip to memory mostly disappeared. Sun inherited all of it. Fixed length instructions, a clean load store design, and that register window became the DNA of SPARC. When Sun's engineers built the first test chip, it was almost insultingly simple. A 20,000 gate array that could not even multiply or divide whole numbers on its own. And yet it ran at 10 million instructions per second, roughly 3 times faster than the complex chips dominating the market. Chief Executive Officer Scott McNealy had told the team SPARC would take Sun from a $500 million company to a $1 billion one. In 1987, the Sun 4 workstation shipped as the first SPARC product. McNealy's prediction came true. Then Sun made the decision that would define everything that followed. They made SPARC open. Instead of guarding the architecture, Sun licensed it. Any company could build and sell a compatible chip. Fujitsu came first, Cypress Semiconductor followed. Texas Instruments built the floating point unit. The logic was sound. Intel's customers were terrified of relying on a single supplier, and Sun could offer something Intel couldn't, a chip you could buy from many vendors. That openness fueled SPARC's rise. It would also quietly seed its decline. Through the 1990s, SPARC was everywhere that mattered. The 64-bit version arrived in 1993, designed by a committee of rivals working together. UltraSPARC machines became the workhorses of the early internet, the boxes that companies bought to build their websites and their futures. By the 2001 fiscal year, Sun's revenue peaked around $18 billion, and at its height, the company was worth nearly $200 billion. A single UltraSPARC chip became the official reference system for an industry benchmark. And then the bubble burst. When the dot-com crash hit, the companies that had bought all those Sun servers either died or stopped spending. Revenue collapsed and never recovered. By 2004, Sun cancelled 2 high-speed chip projects and made a bold bet on a different future. They called it throughput computing. The idea was that the world no longer needed one task done fast. It needed thousands of small tasks done at once. In late 2005, that bet became real silicon. The UltraSPARC T1, codenamed Niagara, packed 8 cores running 32 threads, sipping about as much power as a light bulb. Sun even open-sourced the design. Here is the cruelest irony of the whole story. Niagara was the right call. Doing many small things at once is precisely how cloud computing works today. But cheap x86 chips from Intel and AMD chased the same trend, at lower cost, riding a software ecosystem that dwarfed anything SPARC had. Sun had the better idea and the smaller army. In 2010, Oracle bought Sun for $7.4 billion. Notice that number against the $200 billion Sun was once worth. And Oracle didn't want the silicon, they wanted Java, and they wanted MySQL. SPARC came along for the ride. A few more chips trickled out, the M7 and the M8, with database operations etched directly into the hardware. Then, on a Friday in September 2017, it ended. Oracle laid off nearly the entire SPARC and Solaris engineering staff. Some employees reportedly learnt they were gone when termination packages arrived by FedEx. No ceremony, no announcement, just silence. Compare that to Compaq, who sold the rival DC Alpha to Intel specifically to kill a competitor. SPARC didn't even get that. It wasn't threatening enough to be worth eliminating. Oracle simply stopped. But the ideas never died. The same year as the Oracle deal, David Patterson began work on RISC-V, the open architecture now spreading across the entire industry. Fujitsu moved its supercomputer line to ARM, another RISC descendant. And SPARC chips still fly today aboard spacecraft, hardened against radiation, doing exactly what they were built to do. SPARC's death wasn't a failure of engineering, it was a failure of economics. Volume manufacturing and ecosystem gravity beat a technically superior design. The same way they always seem to. The better chip lost, and the better chip usually does. If stories like this one fascinate you, subscribe. We dig up the forgotten machines that quietly shape the world you live in now.